According to legend, a goat herder in Ethiopia discovered coffee around 850 AD. Eventually, the beverage reached Italy, where the first European coffee house opened in 1645. Today, about 2 billion cups of coffee are drunk each day around the world, making coffee the second most valuable trading commodity after oil. Coffee boasts over 800 flavor characteristics and features enough caffeine to kill a full-grown elephant. Brewing up a cup from coffee beans is very similar to cultivating someone's personality. The longer and more intensely they're roasted, the darker the outcome will be. Espresso, a concentrated brew of coffee, gets its name from the words express and disco, due to its popularity in nightclubs during the 1970s. In the modern world, coffee is regularly consumed in every single industrialized country, except Kyrgyzstan, because I just made that one up. Coffee's flavor depends on where it grows, and how elaborately decorated its bag is. Here in Costa Rica, coffee beans are hidden from the municipal government, so local farmers can export them without having 90% of their profits confiscated. This is coffee. Coffee takes about 3 days to flower, and 3 nights to grow into red cherries that contain the coffee bean. The local mayor of Costa Rica harvests the red cherries after having disposed of the farmer and his family. The mayor's growing basket provides a large collection unit for all cherries he picks, provided he has the girth and length to support the basket. The fingernail grime adds to the flavor. The baskets are emptied into bags made from a combination of strengthened canvas and burlap, perfect for transporting cherries, beans, and bodies. The mayor never skips leg day. Whatever beans don't end up on the factory floor in this sloppy operation end up in a collection tank. A mysterious Spanish employee named Pedro insisted on washing his fingernail gunk off in the same collection tank as the coffee plants. The cherries travel via worm screw to a pulping machine. Pulping machine is just a politically correct term for giant mashing machine that squeezes the shit out of the cherries. It's so easy, even a factory worker can do it. The beans travel down a lazy river to 2 large sifters. Typically, the park enforces a policy of staying in your inner tube and no tube jumping, but everyone tube jumps. That's just part of the fun. The paradox of the lazy river is most people aren't lazy in it. Most people like to fuck around and throw shit all the time. You know what? Fuck this park, it sucks. The beans continue to soak in a combination of 50% water, 50% park guest fluids, until they, oh hey, it's Pedro again. You know, on second look, his mustache looks kinda fake. That's a bit weird. The beans drop into a drying bin. Workers then lay out the beans in the shape of the American flag to pay tribute to the country that consumes the most coffee per person per year. The country that consumes the most coffee per person per year is actually Finland, but America is cooler, so let's just roll with it. Once the beans are patriotic enough, they go into a milling machine. First it's into a mill, which is located in a house. The dried beans are emptied onto the floor of the house with the mill. Locally, this is known as the Bart Simpson. Pedro's father gives the beans a soft touch, as well as a tender kiss, to let them know that everything will be okay. The beans are shaken vigorously to piss them off and help them unlock their buried potential. while workers fill the canvas and burlap bags from earlier with precisely 151.84828499999 pounds of coffee beans. Any more or less, and the entire factory will be shut down by the local mayor. After being filtered through a cage of starving refugees for cleaning, the coffee beans enter a roasting machine. Some viewers have probably noticed how similar chocolate production is to coffee production. Don't worry, we've all noticed what a giant nerd you are. A factory worker looks at some beans, looks at the beans up close, contemplates life's futility, and then looks at the beans again. The beans get so hot they start to steam. Hence why in upstate New York, coffee is often known as steamed beans. The factory manager scoops out some beans just to double check that they haven't disappeared yet. As the beans roast, they go from green to golden brown to decadent feces to black. Coffee makers test out small batches before shipping out larger ones. Testing products before shipping them is a fairly radical concept, but coffee makers are pretty radical people. The beans are roasted, scooped, kerfloggenized, scooped again, and turned into 4 ridiculously large cups of coffee. A soothsayer predicts the future of the coffee through a tasting ritual. The tasting ritual begins with smelling the coffee's aroma to determine its success in dating, money, and family affairs. Then she skims the surface to predict which prominent world leader will die next. This process has a 99% accuracy rating. 99% of the time, it's completely wrong. She takes a sip for the taste test and then spits it out. This coffee backwash will be used to coat the beans before they're shipped, to give them a mystical flavor. Any rejected coffee beans are sent to a heavy-duty grinder. This grinder powders the beans up and mixes them with potting soil to create fertilizer to sell to industrial farms. The added coffee beans don't help the plants grow any better, but it does make them energetic, irritable, and constantly need to piss. The acceptable coffee beans move onto packaging. As each bag is sealed, nitrogen is pumped in to help prevent the coffee from going stale. It's often recommended to immediately huff this nitrogen upon opening the coffee bag to immediately capture its freshest aroma. If customers are unable to do this, coffee producers recommend purchasing a tank of nitrous oxide and wearing it while you sleep to enhance the flavor of your first cup of coffee in the morning. Over at the espresso machine, the barista demonstrates the technique to create the perfect espresso. Well, wait a minute, this isn't really how coffee is made anymore. This is just how to make coffee. Does that count? I guess technically it's how coffee is made, but it's not. It's not how you produce coffee or make coffee the product. It's how you actually use the coffee that you purchase. But okay, although you can also buy coffee from like a restaurant or something, and I guess they do have to make the coffee, so this is how coffee is also made, I guess. Okay, this is espresso though. This espresso is made differently than regular coffee, and oh fuck, I'm so confused. Look, they're using a French press now. This is just getting more complicated. Okay, you know what? How coffee is made and how to make coffee. But then that would mean that the initial process isn't how coffee is made, but how coffee is prepared? Fuck it. Coffee. It's made. The end. Stop the video.